Is this the best of both worlds? The perfect plan? Probably not, but I'm gonna try it anyway. And I'm going to break down what you guys have been asking me for, which is the plan to combine these two history curriculums and make one glorious, beautiful world history part 2 curriculum. So I'm going to break this down and I'm going to show you what the plan is for right now. Does this mean that it'll actually work? I don't know. It's kind of like last year. We are just doing an experiment to see if it works, and I'm going to tweak along the way. So I need to make that perfectly clear before I really jump in and explain to you how I plan on combining these two books to make my beautiful world history part 2 curriculum. So after dozens and dozens of messages all throughout the summer, I'm going to release finally my plan for world history part 2. So just as a quick recap, so you understand what's going on here, because this is not going to make a lick of sense unless you actually understand what I'm doing. I have a 10th grader, an upcoming 10th grader, and he is doing a 4-year history cycle. The spine of my 4-year history cycle is going to be generations. So generations world history books are going to be years 1 and 2, and American history is years 3 and 4. And their world history comes with 2 books, okay? It's a monster of a course. And I decided that I wanted to go a little bit slower and do it in a Charlotte Mason way because it's my homeschool, my rules, I do what I want. I took 1 book for each year. So World History 1, which I can't find the book right now. I think I put it away already because I was organizing for the school year. World History Part 1 is the first book to this. It's a companion set, and we did ancient history, and I added in readers, and we did that. I have a video on my YouTube for that if you want it. This is Part 2 for 10th grade, and we are doing the fall of Rome to modern day, and this is only 13 chapters. So I have to do something else to have him get that full 1-year credit on his transcript. So I saw that Simply Charlotte Mason just put out their new 4-year history cycle, and they have a Middle Ages, which is book 2 in their history cycle. And I was like, book 2, bada bing, bada boom, let's just put them together, right? Okay, so this is a little bit more complicated than that sounds because of one major reason. It just doesn't break even. So I agonized for weeks over this. I probably spent way too much time overthinking it, but me and my trusty Mardell planner here, they have these planning pages at the beginning of their planner. Love them. That has helped me plan this whole thing out. I had to rip out a few pages a couple of times and start completely over from scratch because nothing was breaking even. So what I had to end up doing was something that I didn't really want to do, but we're gonna make it work. Okay, so here's the breakdown. So I have a PDF. You guys can't see it because my window is right there and it's glaring on here, but I will show this to you on the screen here so you can see it. So the way that I decided to do this was chronological, okay? So this book starts at the fall of Rome. So the first 2 chapters, we are kind of going into the fall of Rome, and then chapter 3, I believe, begins the Middle Ages. So we are going to stop at the end of chapter 2. And we're just going to read chapters 1 and chapters 2 for the first 2 weeks of school. Week 3, we're going to pick up the Middle Ages because that's actually where this book is going to start. In chapter 3 is Middle Ages. And why not go chronologically? It's history, for crying out loud. We're going to go chronologically because my brain can't process anything other than that. So we're going to do this book. Now, the way that this is set up, this is supposed to be a whole year 1 credit course. This book right here is the Middle Ages Simply Charlotte Mason curriculum, and it's supposed to be done 3 days a week, okay? And it's supposed to span out for 36 weeks. Well, when I put that 36-week plan into my curriculum pages, I found it just wasn't breaking even because this is supposed to be a whole year course, and the other book is supposed to be a half year. Okay, so this just doesn't break even. So I'm gonna have to sacrifice on one end, either this one or the Generations book. So basically, this book here is the lesson plans for reading all of these readers. So, it's a lot of books. It's really heavy. I have arthritis. So, what I ended up having to do was basically just saying, okay, there's gonna have to be a cutoff point. I'm not gonna be able to do everything, but I can do a lot of things. So on one of the books, I'm gonna have to sacrifice. That's just the way that it's gonna work, and I accepted it. Even if I do this one 5 days a week, which I really don't wanna do because that's really rushing and there's a lot of reading and that's just too much for my kid, we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna have to sacrifice one or the other. And I really wanted to finish this book because these books are wonderful and beautiful and God-honoring, and I love them. So, this one is gonna be chopped up a little bit, but it's okay because I can do a lot of the readings for this, and actually we got the books that I really wanted to read into the schedule. So the way that I'm doing this was just the easiest way possible. Weeks 1 and 2, we're reading chapter 1 and chapter 2, basically following the schedule that comes with the curriculum, which is this book here. It's a workbook and it has the schedule of all the readings. We are going to be following that schedule. We're just going to break it. Okay, so weeks 1 and 2, follow the schedule and do the readings and maybe the worksheets, I don't know. Week 3, we're gonna pick up and we are going to do this book here from Simply Charlotte Mason. So these are the lesson plans for the book readings, and we're going to be reading those beautiful readers for a good chunk of the year, all the way up to week 24. Okay, so weeks 3 through 23, we are going to be doing Simply Charlotte Mason Middle Ages curriculum. I'm tweaking one thing though with Simply Charlotte Mason's schedule here. Instead of 3 days a week, we are doing 4 days a week. Do not throw things at your screen, Charlotte Mason purists. I understand. I'm messing with the schedule. I understand. My kid though can handle it. He is a very fast reader. He comprehends well. That's his strength, and he can handle it. I'm not really that worried at all. But if I find that it is too much reading, we'll chop it even more and go to 3 days a week. I'm just following what I think my child can handle here, okay? We're just altering things just a smidge, okay? So we're doing 4 days a week. So starting in week 3, we are doing Simply Charlotte Mason lessons 1 through 4. Week 4, lessons 5 through 8. Week 5, lessons 9 through 12, and so on until we get to week 23. Now week 23, we are doing lessons 81 and 82 because at lesson 83, that is where there are like new books introduced, and I thought that was a good stopping point. So we are going to, it almost starts like kind of like a new unit. So we're going to stop there, and that week, in week 23, we are only going to be doing lessons 81 and 82. In week 24, we are going right back to this one right here, Taking the World for Jesus. And we are going to be following the schedule. So week 24, we're going to pick up in chapter 3, week 25, chapter 4, week 26, chapter 5, and so on, all the way down to week 35. Now week 35 of school, we're going to be reviewing for exams, and week 36 will be exam week. So there are some exams in here. I'm having 3 exams for the 3 terms, just like Charlotte Mason does. And we will be doing the exams Charlotte Mason style, and the exams are actually in here, and it gives you options for exams. So we're going to be doing it that way. And there is actually an exam in this book as well, and that's going to be our term 3 exam. So, is this the perfect schedule? Probably not. Can every kid do this schedule? Probably not. If you think it might work for you, or if you want to tweak mine, go for it. Highly recommend it, because it's your homeschool, do what you want. So we are Charlotte Mason-ish, because that's worked for my kid since he was in kindergarten. and that's the way he learns best, and we just love to read books. So we are going to be reading a lot of good books, and there are a couple of books that we won't finish. So those weeks where we're reviewing, we're going to be finishing up some books. So like there's like 1 or 2 chapters in here we won't get to finish according to the Charlotte Mason schedule. So those weeks we'll be finishing books like this because I want to finish A Castle with Many Rooms because I've heard so many great things about it and I cannot wait to read this book. So any books that we want to finish or we feel like we have to get to the end of this book, those are going to be finished up during those review weeks, especially at the end of the year or that week where we're only doing lesson 81 and 82. That would be a good week to finish up any of those readers that we didn't get to finish. And it's going to be so close to, you know, that's kind of like a break, you know, so that would be a really great point to do that, to finish up those books. Again, will it work? I don't know until I put it into practice. Is this too much reading? It might be. It might be way too overly ambitious for my son and we have to scale it back to 3 days a week. And if so, that's okay. I can remake the schedule, but this is the tentative schedule for grade 10 for my son, and he will be getting a half credit basically for each course, and putting it together, he gets a full credit for World History Year 2 in our 4-year history cycle. And speaking of our 4-year history cycle, years 11 and 12 is going to be these 2 books. And we're going to be doing American history. And this is going to be my second time going through this course from Generations. And we did this with my oldest child. I loved this American history course. Will I add Simply Charlotte Mason? Possibly. It depends on how this year goes because I have never used Simply Charlotte Mason's history, but we're going to give it a shot because it looks like so much fun and the books they picked out look so good. So we are going to give it a try and see how this goes. All we can do is try, right? Either way, I think it's going to be fantastic no matter how I slice it. I'm not that worried about it. It worked out last year. We made some tweaks along the way and it was okay. So this year, I'm going to try this schedule. Stay tuned to see how it goes. It could go either way. It could go terribly, it could go wonderfully. We don't know. I'm excited either way. I think it's going to be fun. The books they picked out look amazing. I cannot wait to read A Castle with Many Rooms, the Castle and Cathedral book, the Black Arrow. That one looks fantastic. I can't wait. I think these are going to be so much fun, and I'm going to be reading the books with him as much as possible because I want to get a second education. I never got to read any of these books, and they look wonderful. So if you want to order any of these books, I will leave the links down below in the description box for you, and you can go and check those out. I also have a 10% coupon for Simply Charlotte Mason. If you just use my coupon and my link, you'll get 10% off of your order, which is really cool. I love that they do that. So just for my viewers, you get that. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy homeschooling.